In this podcast episode, Clint Emerson, a retired Navy SEAL with over 2 decades of experience, including time with SEAL Team 6's elite Black Squadron, shares an extensive and candid conversation about his upbringing, military career, covert operations, security expertise, and personal journey through trauma and recovery. The discussion spans Emerson's childhood in Saudi Arabia, his challenging path through BUD-S, his operational deployments in the Middle East, the creation of advanced surveillance and clandestine entry programs, and his post-military work in security consulting and mental health advocacy. Clint Emerson was born in Texas but spent a significant part of his childhood, from age 8 through high school, living in Saudi Arabia due to his father's work in the oil industry. Growing up on a fortified compound surrounded by anti-aircraft guns, concertina wire, and armed guards, profoundly influenced his early understanding of security and surveillance. Emerson observed the heavy restrictions and societal controls in a radical Islamic environment during the 1980s, a period marked by hijackings and terrorism, including notable attacks like the Khobar Towers bombing. As a Western child, he experienced social marginalization, privilege given only to Saudi nationals, and occasional hostile encounters with younger Saudi men. These early experiences with a highly securitized, oppressive culture planted the seeds that would later inspire his military ambitions, particularly his desire to join SEAL Team 3, which focused on the Middle East. Emerson's interest in becoming a Navy SEAL was sparked unexpectedly during a trip through Frankfurt Airport when he encountered a tattooed man who shared details about SEAL operations, such as disabling anti-aircraft guns during the U.S. bombing of Libya. Prior to that, he fancied being a ninja after watching popular movies, but this real-life interaction shifted his focus. Upon returning to high school in the U.S., Emerson began preparing physically and mentally to enlist, motivated by a desire to prove himself and escape a sense of personal inadequacy rooted in his early life. He attended the University of Houston, but left with a semester remaining after deciding to pursue Navy Special Operations. Emerson credits his motivation to personal desire for self-improvement rather than external validation, acknowledging the common thread of broken homes within the special operations community. Emerson describes his time at BUD-S, basic underwater demolition SEAL training, as grueling and challenging, particularly given his initial physical shortcomings. Repeatedly listed for deficiencies and relegated to remedial training, he endured harsh treatment from instructors, illustrating the tough culture of accountability and resilience that defines the course. Notably, Emerson witnessed a fellow candidate suffer a broken ankle from instructor-inflicted injury, yet did not report the incident to avoid retaliation. His perseverance through physical hardships, such as swimming lost in a jellyfish-infested Persian Gulf and surviving relentless training punishments, forged a foundation for his later success in SEAL teams. Emerson also secretly filmed much of his journey, preserving memories of the intense experience. Once assigned to SEAL Team 3, Emerson engaged in shipboard interdictions and enforcement of embargoes against Iraq prior to 9/11. This involved dangerous nighttime operations where SEALs would stealthily board vessels suspected of smuggling oil or weapons. Compared to the post-9/11 era, these operations were quieter, more routine, and focused on maritime interdiction rather than continuous combat. Post-9/11, the tempo rapidly increased with deployments to Afghanistan and Iraq, including notable missions like seizing a gas and oil platform in the Persian Gulf under heavy threat, an operation complicated by onboard enemy combatants and the risk of explosion. Emerson reflects on the shift from cautious and risk-averse leadership early in the war to a highly aggressive and mission-focused posture. During the 9/11 attacks, Emerson was recovering from surgery but quickly integrated into war preparations. He recounts convoy movements, the chaos of early phases in Iraq, and the visceral reality of combat, including interactions with exhausted Marines facing infiltration by enemy Fedayeen fighters. The narrative includes first-hand accounts of fatigue-induced dangers, sniper encounters, and the eerie emptiness of towns like Turi after residents fled. He also recalls watching high-profile operations, such as the Jessica Lynch rescue from afar, highlighting the contrasts within special operations communities. Emerson describes the evolving dynamics within leadership and the increasing operational responsibilities and intensity faced by SEAL teams during the initial invasion. Emerson provides insight into the hazing and initiation rituals at SEAL Team 3, emphasizing the blend of camaraderie, discipline, and harsh physical punishment designed both to celebrate and correct behavior. He recounts a memorable hazing event involving electrical shocks while taped in compromising positions in cold weather. This reflects the tough, sometimes brutal, culture of SEAL teams intended to test and unify members. Emerson notes how the ethos and hazing practices have changed over time, but acknowledges the role such experiences played in team cohesion and individual toughness. After frontline deployments, Emerson transitioned into pioneering roles, building sophisticated surveillance, intelligence, and clandestine entry programs within naval special warfare. He discusses starting the Advanced Surveillance Operations, ASO, and Advanced Force Operations, AFO frameworks, integrating human intelligence, technical surveillance, and physical surveillance taught with the assistance of MI5, MI6, and SAS veterans. These programs combined electronics, lockpicking, covert tracking, and tradecraft into comprehensive curricula designed to prepare operators as both spies and fighters. Emerson underscores the importance of turning seasoned operators into operatives who can conduct single-operator missions worldwide with minimal support, emphasizing creativity, planning, and strategic thinking, exemplified by concepts like the tugboat theory for neutralizing distant targets indirectly. He highlights collaboration with NSA and SOCOM, creation of joint courses, and partnerships with contractor companies to expand training capabilities and reach. Emerson's move to SEAL Team 6's Black Squadron marks a deep dive into highly classified Singleton operations involving technical solutions to complex problems. He shares anecdotes about tracking and tagging high-value targets, such as bin Laden's boats, and the Somali pirate leader using covert GPS devices concealed creatively in boats and even shoe insoles. These missions leveraged advanced surveillance technology, human intelligence, and high-level coordination with agencies and local partners. He discusses clandestine entry, COE skills, essential to these missions, drawing on techniques from British Special Forces, FBI, and intelligence community programs to execute covert break-ins for intelligence gathering or operational advantage while ensuring deniability and minimal forensic evidence. Emerson highlights the specialized training he developed and conducted for elite operators, underscoring the unique skill set required for modern covert warfare. The conversation includes Emerson's deployments to Yemen during the campaign against AQP figure Anwar al-Awlaki, detailing efforts to monitor and tag his vehicle through sophisticated covert operations despite significant operational challenges and risks. Similarly, involvement in Somalia included working with local intelligence services against pirate leaders while navigating complex tribal politics and dangerous environments. Emerson reflects on the difficulties of operational disguise in culturally complex and hostile environments, noting how substance use and close communal ties add layers of complexity for operatives. After nearly 20 years of service, Emerson faced a stressful and contentious exit from naval special warfare, marked by an internal investigation triggered amid broader controversies involving other SEALs who authored books or generated outside income while on active duty. He recounts being publicly targeted with his photo posted at base checkpoints and stripped of access badges without clear explanation, experiences that bred uncertainty and frustration. Only through legal assistance from former high-profile FBI Director Louis Freeh could he navigate the bureaucratic ordeal and eventually retire honorably. Emerson critiques the Navy's handling of these cases as knee-jerk and punitive, driven by leadership threatened by unauthorized disclosures or perceived breaches of protocol, resulting in unfair treatment of many talented operators. His exit experience reinforced his resolve to pursue meaningful work outside the military sphere. After his military career, Emerson embarked on a deep personal healing journey, engaging in 2 years of intensive therapy with a counselor whose empathetic and holistic approach helped him unpack decades of trauma rooted in childhood abandonment, trust issues, and dysfunctional family dynamics. He shares a powerful exercise involving visualizing and comforting his younger self in his childhood home, which catalyzed emotional release and healing. Emerson emphasizes the importance of understanding the why behind behaviors and symptoms such as addiction or relational difficulties to enable genuine recovery. He describes his experience at Ibegan, a behavioral health program involving intense, extended periods of emotional processing, as a grand finale that forced him to confront long-suppressed pain and grief. Both he and the host discuss the complicated role of psychedelic-assisted therapy, advocating caution regarding commercialization while recognizing its potential benefits when used properly and with professional guidance. Throughout the discussion, Emerson mentions the tools and equipment essential to his covert work, including tracking devices, lock-picking gear, signal jammers, and disguise masks. He stresses that operative success often depends less on weapons and more on credible cover stories and minimizing time on target to reduce exposure. Both Emerson and the host exchanged gifts of customized firearms from respected American veteran-owned companies, showcasing their significance and appeal within the special operations community. Toward the end of the conversation, Emerson reflects on his spiritual beliefs and experiences during Ibegan, recounting moments of seeking and perceiving a presence of God and symbolic imagery during his intense psychological work. The host shares compatible thoughts on spirituality, the limits of human perception, and the potential dangers and mysteries of accessing altered states of consciousness through substances like DMT. In closing, Clint Emerson expresses gratitude for sharing his story and insights, acknowledging the unique and difficult path special operators walk both during and after their military careers. Throughout the interview, he demonstrates resilience, creativity, and compassion, highlighting the importance of mental health, continued learning, and integrity in a life of service and beyond.